The fourth industrial revolution is about robots, 3D printing, Internet of Things, 5G, and all those things. So, we are in the age of technology. One of the core technology for this fourth industrial revolution is a robot. Is a robot. Now, if you go to any factory, you will find large scale use of automation and robotics to reduce the cost. So, what is a robot? Now, robot is a reprogrammable. That word is very important. Robot is a reprogrammable multifunctional manipulator. It can be reprogrammed, it can do multiple type of function, and it can manipulate things. It can do manipulation of various kind of works. So robots are designed for specific purpose. You have to design the robot. You have to design the robot for that purpose, and then if you want to do another kind of function, you have to make certain changes. So you have to design it for moving material, parts, tools, or perform specialized function or programmed motion. So for that specialized function. Now, even a simple industrial equipment like a lathe machine will also do a certain kind of function. But what differentiate a robot is reprogrammable. That is, it can also do a different kind of function. And this differentiate the robot from a fixed machine like a lathe machine or a drill machine, etc. From a drill or a lathe machine, etc. So in case of robot, you can change the component, you can change the program and make the same system to do another kind of work. The term robot was introduced by Karl Kapek. So Karl Kapek introduced the term robot. Now we have completed 100 years of this term. And Isaac Asimov gave Karl Kapek the term robot and Asimov gave the term robotics. Now robotics is study of design, selection of component, which component has to be placed, fabrication of the electronic circuit, software, AI, and number of things are there. So that is your robotics. So how you are going to make a robot, that is the concept of robotic, including the design, selection of component, electronic circuit, software, AI, programming, etc. Now we can divide robot into two broad categories. We can divide the robot into two broad categories. One is your fixed robot, another is mobile robot. So we can divide the robot into two broad categories. One is fixed robot and second is mobile robot. So fixed robot is attached to a stationary platform. Now in this case, you will find that this robotic structure is attached to a stationary platform. This platform, it is stationary. It is not moving around. Second type of robot is your mobile robot. Second type of robot is a mobile robot. Now this can move from one place to another. And mobility is provided by wheels, legs, or any other traveling mechanism. This mobility can be through wheels, legs, or any other traveling mechanism. You can even give a mobile robot a human shape. Sometimes it's a humanoid robot. For example, this is the case of a humanoid robot, but shape has nothing to do with function. There should be mobility. Even a humanoid robot can be static if it is at one place. So shape can be of anything, but mobility must be there. Then only we'll call it mobile robot. These are the robot of Boston Dynamics. These two robots, one is like a dog, one is like a human. Now let us move into what are the component of the robot. UPSC had asked this question, what are the component of a robot? What are the component of a robot? So a robot has 5 major component. A robot has 5 major component. The first component is your manipulator. The first component is your manipulator. And this is analogous to human arm. In human arm, you have different joints and links. In our arms, for example, if I consider my arm, one thing is at the shoulder, then at knee, shoulder, then at your elbow, then at your wrist. So you have joints and links. And so at joint, two bones combine. So these manipulator is analogous to human arm. It has several joints and links, and these joints and links provide independent motion. Due to these joints and links, there is independent motion at the independent motion, and this gives flexibility of work. So the joints allow independent motion, and this is termed as number of degree of freedom. A general purpose industrial robot will have 6 degree of freedom. That is, it will have 6 joint and links. And general purpose industrial robot should have 6 joints and links. For example, let us take a look at this robot. Here, these are the joints. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So at these joints, there is different degree of freedom. So the first component of robot is your manipulator, which is analogous to human arm. Moving into the second component of robot is end effector. For example, in the end of human arm, at the end of your arm, at the end of your hand, you have palm and finger. With palm and finger, you catch hold of anything. These fingers, with the help of these finger, you are catching anything. Similarly, at the end of the manipulator, you have end effector. And this is analogous to human arm, that human palm and finger. So end effector is attached to one end of the manipulator, and this is designed for the particular work. For example, end effector can be a spray paint gun or a welding gun. In this diagram, in this image, the end effector is a welding gun. Here the end, at the place of end effector, you have put a welding system. Or it can be a spray paint work. In this diagram, here the end effector is a spray paint. It is doing spray paint of the car. So end effector has to be designed for the specific work. Or in the first diagram, in this one, this can be an electromagnetic pickup device. Electromagnetic pickup device. So the end effector has to be designed for that specific work. End effector has to be designed for that specific work. So these were the first two components. Now moving on to the third component of robot. The third component is a locomotor device. The third component is locomotor device. When you are picking up something with the help of your palm and finger, the power is provided by muscle. The power for lifting a 10 kg bag with your hand, though the primary role is of palm and finger, but the power, the pressure is where? It is the muscles. Similarly, in case of robot also, the power is provided by the motors. The power for doing the work is provided by the motors. Now, these motors are also called locomotor device. The locomotor device, they are also called drive unit, and they provide the power to the robot to perform certain kind of function. And these drive unit are based on the type of energy they use. They are based according to the type of energy they use. It depends on the type of energy they use. For example, it can be an electronic device. It can be hydraulic system. It can be pneumatic system. It can be any of that. From hydraulic to pneumatic, it can be any of that. So that is your locomotor device. Then the fourth component of a robot is controller or control unit. Controller. The, the motion of our hand and palm is controlled by our brain. The human biological movement or function, they are controlled by our brain. Similarly, in case of robot also, the movement of robotic component is controlled by computers, and this is also called controller or control unit. And this computer can get information through sensors. It is capable of getting information and input, and based on the input it can take its own appropriate decision. This can even be reprogrammed to perform another kind of function. You can reprogram it to do another kind of function. That is why the robot is able to perform another function also by reprogramming this computer or the controller. The controller can be reprogrammed to perform another kind of function. That is why it gives flexibility and it is differentiated from a normal machine. Now the fifth component, the first was manipulator, end effector, the second component was end effector, the third is the controller, manipulator, end effector, drive unit, the third was drive unit, the fourth is control unit, and the fifth one is your sensor. The robot must be able to recognize its area of work. If you have gone to a particular space, say to a field or a farm, you must be able to recognize that farm with your sense organ like ear, eye, nose, touch, etc. Similarly, as the sense organ is giving information to human brain, similarly the sensors of the robot provide real-time information to the controller or the computer of the robot. Sensors can measure different quantities like position, velocity, force, proximity to a point, temperature, pressure, etc. So, the robot must be able to recognize the salient feature of its environment. Then only it can work in that environment. So, for effectively working in an environment, the robot must have sensor for a specific purpose. For example, here microphone for hearing, ultrasound sensors for hearing ultrasound, acoustic vector sensor, chemical sensor, infrared, camera sensor. So all these things will go into the data, will be going into the control unit or the controller, and then the controller takes the final decision. So these are the component of a robot. Now moving on to the functions of a robot. What are the common functions of a robot? The common functions of the robot are: number one, pick up and place operation. So you are picking up something and putting it somewhere else. So this is used in loading, unloading, general material handling, etc. Nowadays, companies like Amazon, Flipkart, they have huge warehouse and they extensively use robot for picking up the material, packing it, and then sending it. So most of these companies have big warehouses where they keep the goods, and when you order the goods, these robot can go and search the requisite thing, and it will be putting up to the counter, where it will be packaged and will be dispatched to your location. Second, point to point operation like spot welding, drilling, gluing, etc. So second is point to point operation. Third aspect is continuous path operation, and this involves a particular step in the manufacturing process. It involves a particular step in the manufacturing process, which could be inspection, cutting, welding, etc. So continuous path operation involves a particular step in the manufacturing process, one particular step in the manufacturing process. The next application of robot is assembly application. Assembly means you are assembling something, and this is important especially for industries where large number of components of different size and shape are added precisely. For example, semiconductor industry, mobile assembly. Robots are also involved in the assembly of mobile and other electronic component, mobile and gadget, etc. So in semiconductor industry, electronic industry, large number of components are joined in a particular manner so that you get the final product. So assembly application becomes important. Then next, military application. Robots are used for precise action and reducing casualties, you have especially in those environment where large number of casualty can be especially in the congested environment. In many of the urban warfare area, the developed country like Israel, US and other, they are also trying to utilize robotic system in place of the infantry soldier. So this can reduce the casualty. The next application is space application. For example, the International Space Station has a robotic arm. When the spacecraft go up, these robotic arm help in the joining of these spacecraft with the International Space Station and then transfer loading, unloading of goods from International Space Station into the from International Space Station into the spacecraft that has gone up. Next application is robotic surgery. Nowadays, robotic assisted surgery is being done on large scale. Many of the top end hospital, they are going for robotic surgery. It is a costly affair. For example, there's a system called Leonardo da Vinci surgical system, which is the cost is around 30-40 crore. So the robotic surgery offers the benefit of enhanced precision. Tissue dissection and suturing, etc., they can be done more precisely with the help of 3D, three-dimensional vision of the operative area with magnification. You can magnify the operative area where the operation is to be done with the three-dimensional vision. So dissection, suturing, etc. can be done in a better manner. Now, what are the benefits of robot? Robots can work well in hazardous environment. For example, you have to put fuel rod into a nuclear reactor. So human will not be able to, if you involve human, there is chance of cancer. Fuel rod into nuclear reactor. Or you are handling a hazardous chemical. So in such an environment, it's better to use robotic system than involve the human. Then robot can reduce the cost of production. This is one of the major reason why most of the factory are now to some extent are using robot to reduce the cost of production. Number 3, increase productivity, precision, quality. So the robotic system can be precise, precision is there, quality is better, more number of goods are produced in minimum amount of time, in minimum amount of time. So the company can manage their order well, especially during the seasons. So these are some of the benefit of robotic system.